Hey pros, having a coffee up here at the New Orleans Investment Conference at the Hilton and having a really good time, and just wanted to talk to you about the conference. For those of you who couldn't travel or couldn't make it this year, it is in person. We've seen a lot of foot traffic, which is really great. The topic of the conference seems to be a couple of things related together. It's inflation and it's supply chain are the two big topics. Inflation, where does inflation come from? You know, we were one of the first to call it. We started talking about inflation late last year, early this year, because we were looking at commodities price increases in lumber, tin, lead, all those kind of things outside the precious metals. And then about March, April timeframe, we started seeing higher producer price indexes across the world, not only in the United States, but also in China. And we said, you know what, we're gonna have higher CPIs. And we did. We hit 4 or 5 months of higher CPIs, to the point that the Fed had to stop saying it was transitory. Transitory's become the meme now, and anytime anybody says something's gonna happen, but it's only transitory, and that's making fun of the Fed, because the Fed was 100% wrong on their call. They have 100% backtracked on that call, and now the Fed is worried about it. It's interesting to see people's opinions about what the Fed will do to deal with that inflation. And it ranges from, you know, they're going to stop buying treasuries, you know, taper, to they're going to have to continue to print forever. I think most of the hard money advocates here, they think they're going to print forever. I did talk to some very knowledgeable people who have been analyzing the space for 30, 40 years, who think that the Fed is in a trap. It's basically a bear trap. They can't go too far either way, but they do think the system can continue like this for a few more years because nobody wants to crash it. One of the things we talked about with Chris Temple, the National Investor, in a video that you guys will see upcoming on the channel, is that essentially they can't go either way, but nobody wants to crash it, because if China doesn't bail out, you know, their debt markets and the Evergrande situation, or doesn't do something, provide some stimulus, it could come back to haunt not only them, but the debt markets in the US. And the example I used was, if you look at foreign direct investment, that's one bank in one country investing in another. The foreign direct investment is basically like a big spider web. Everybody's invested in everybody, and everybody has exposure to everybody. In fact, I think about a year and a half ago on the channel, I put that China was exposed to Europe and to the US and Africa, and with their Belt and Road Initiative, they're even more exposed on their yuan-based loans all around the world. Well, the US is also. Everybody's invested in everybody, so nobody really wants the system to crash. And that's the thesis behind this can go for a couple more years. And I know that a lot of people don't want to hear that, especially the precious metals bugs, you know, like myself, who are in the precious metals and want the prices to go up. They don't want to hear that this could take a few more years, but honestly, that could be the best thing, because it could allow us time to make additional preparations. It could allow us more time to get our precious metals purchased at you know, lower prices before the world starts jumping into them. It could allow some people to get out of their stock portfolios and begin to invest in real things, pay down debt, and do basic things like that. And as a special preview, we're going to be looking at launching another news service, and I'm just going to preview this and not tell you when, talking about how to prepare for what we think is coming, because we think it's sort of at the end of this cycle, and there's more that you need to do other than the precious metal. So we're going to expand our content. Stay tuned for an announcement on that here in the next month or so. We'll talk about it on the channel. But that's kind of the mode everybody is in, is what do we do? We're seeing inflation, we're seeing the supply chain issues, you know, we're having shortages of goods, they can't get them to port. I saw Biden on the TV at a town hall. He's being interviewed by Anderson Cooper, and I saw this video clip last night on the news when I got back from the conference. And Biden was saying, well, the Los Angeles port's only open 40 hours a week, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. They should be 24/7. And we saw the governor of Florida come out and say, we have ports in Florida. Why don't you circle back around to Florida for those that can, and we'll take goods there. So there are solutions being worked on the supply chain shortage, but there are certain aspects of the supply chain shortage that have nothing to do with cargo ships. It has to do with we don't have enough resources, right? Which we think is going to bid at commodities. And we don't have enough truckers, and the labor shortage, and I could go on and on and on. So I think the supply chain shortages are a sign of deeper economic issues. They go much deeper than the last 2 years with the COVID situation, and go much deeper with, ships sitting outside of ports and a lack of truck drivers. I think they go much deeper in indications that we have misallocated capital to the wrong industries for the longest time. We have not explored for the commodities that we need. So all of those are playing into the shortages of the things that we need, that make it into the product. So I think that's been a big topic of the conference as well. And I think people are starting to get into prep mode, basically. And it's just been fascinating to see people kind of acknowledge that here. And I'm talking to people who are in crypto, I'm talking to people who are in real estate, I'm talking to people who are in broad index funds in the stock market, and we all kind of have the same opinion. Our approach to the problem, to solving the problem, may be slightly different, but we all agree on the problem. Okay, not enough allocation of money into commodity sector, too many issues with the supply chain, inflation in the system, and then at the same time, the potential for a black swan in the debt markets and a debt market collapse. As far as Evergrande goes, a little bit of an update, and we'll update more for our members that support us via Patreon. There hasn't been a whole lot of movement with Evergrande, other than the fact that they're trying to make their onshore bond payment, but it looks like they're going to miss the other one. China seems to, the state seems to be not budging on supporting them, and there is a third now lender in China that's starting to have some issues. So this looks more systemic than just Evergrande. We'll cover that in more detail for people that support us on Patreon, and thank you for those of you that do. In any case, that's been kind of the theme of the conference. It's the last day. Some people, have left. It's a little bit lighter today, so we're just going around chatting with people, doing some additional content for you guys. The mood seems pretty light so far. People seem pretty happy, happy to be here at the conference. But overall concern, inflation, supply chain issues, what do we do about the global debt situation? So that's a good, summary for you guys at the conference. For those of you who could not be there, we'll continue to cover additional conferences as they come down the pike. And stay tuned, because in 2022, we're going to do some additional on-site visits to go out and reach out to you guys as well, to reach out to our members and our subscribers and guys that follow us. One last note. We had several of our investors who are followers of the channel show up to the conference. One of those, Peter Chang, won a 10-ounce silver bar in our networking event Wednesday night, courtesy of American Pacific Mining. Thank you to Peter for coming out to the conference and meeting us. And we have received so much support here at the conference, especially over the Jeffrey Christian situation. I've had no less than 20 people walk up to me and comment on that and support us on that. And no less than probably 30 people overall comment and support that they watch our channel, they love our content. So our content is getting out there. People, are coming to Gold Silver Pros, and we're starting to see it at a conference like this, which is, a nice tribute to the channel, but also a thank you guys for supporting us. It's good to see that we're getting recognized when we go out to these conferences, and it's because you guys, you share, you subscribe, you comment, and I think we have the best community in the social media space. So I wanted to thank you guys very much, and stay tuned for more content. We got a lot more coming. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. We appreciate it. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share, and hit that notification button so you get those notifications when new content comes out. If you like what we're doing here, please consider supporting us on Patreon. Those members of Patreon will get extra special content delivered to them as well.